Are you a fan of awesome horror art and more than just horror art? Record art, poster art, all kinds of cool things? Well, stay tuned to Pine and Comics right here on YouTube, and we will talk all about this book right here. Oh, hi. It's me, Ganache, and Pine and Comics here with you. And we've been doing a series of videos showcasing some books from some really cool companies. And today, we're back to focusing on 1984 publishing. And this is a very cool one as well. Right here. Check that out. It's called Ghoulish, and it is the art of Gary Pullin. Who's Gary Pullin, you're saying? Some of you know, some of you don't know. Gary Pullin is a Canadian artist who at one point was the art director for Rue Morgue magazine, which is a very famous magazine amongst horror fans and genre fans, up there along with Fangoria. This book basically chronicles a lot of his different art and what he's done. He's worked for Mondo. If you're familiar with Mondo, they do really cool alternate prints and posters for movies that everybody loves. He's one of these artists that's got a super unique style. April Snellings is the author of this book. She is a writer for Rue Morgue. She has a ton of credits. Check her out. Check Rue Morgue out on its own as well. We'll put the website down here, ruemorgue.com, right there. Boop, 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 boop. But what we're here to talk about right now is Ghoulish. So, and that is also Gary Pullin's nickname, by the way. I learned as going through this. He's Ghoulish Gary Pullin. So why don't we take a look inside of this so you can see some of the very cool, other than the Jason mask here, art that adorns this book. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of Ghoulish here, the art of Gary Pullin, once again by April Snellings. If you notice a little bit of a glare on the book today, we're taping in a little bit of a different spot, and the overhead light is not conducive, but we are not going to let that get us down here at Pine and Comics. So let's get right into it, Ghoulish, and let's break it open. And what do you see right in the beginning here? The Crypt Keeper. And as you go through, you're going to get, obviously, the index and all that good stuff. You get a couple of forwards. You get one by Larry Fessenden, who, if you're a horror fan, is a longtime director and actor. He was in a movie I recently saw called The Ranger. He also directed a recent release called Depraved, which looks very cool. I haven't seen yet. And our friend from the Mobile Horror Companion podcast, Brian Spears, who we did an interview with at CT Horror Fest this year, who is a makeup and effects artist, has worked with him many times. So he's got a forward in here. And basically this just goes through the early years of Gary's career and kind of gets you through. I mean, look at some of this stuff. Look at this is amazing. Again, you got the Clockwork Orange art. You've got Leatherface there. And you're kind of going through his early stuff. He was the art director for Rue Morgue for quite a while, I think starting in 2001. And then you've got this gorgeous Creature from the Black Lagoon cover. He did many of the covers for that magazine. I believe this is Zombie. I've never seen it, but the cover for the Italian, very famous Italian zombie film called Zombie. And then you just go through, and it breaks it up. The Babadook. I haven't seen the Babadook myself, but it looks pretty frightening. As you go through, it kind of breaks it up into different categories here. Another great Chainsaw Massacre piece. Psycho turns 50. You go through his covers for Rue Morgue, and then as you go along, you get the film posters. And what he does is he does a lot of very cool alternate film posters for movies that, you know, he wouldn't have been able to do, like Creepshow 1982. And people love this stuff. You get to see some of the alternate takes he has on them. You get to see some of the sketches, right? So you get a Babadook one here, and you can see different ideas he had and different sketches. Grabbers, White Zombie, classic film. Star Trek Mirror Mirror. So he's not just a horror guy, he's a sci-fi guy as well. You get to see some of his workups for a Wrath of Khan poster, Mirror Mirror, for Star Trek. The Big Lebowski, Teen Wolf. Just, I mean, again, this is all fantastic stuff. The Void. I believe this is on Shudder right now. I saw this a couple years ago on Netflix, a very cool, independent, I believe, Canadian horror movie. Halloween, okay, you've got the ghost, the dead boyfriend disguise. And then you get a little bit further and you get into cover art he's done for soundtracks, Children of the Corn, Donnie Darko, The Fly, promotional stuff for Alice Cooper. When Alice Cooper, he did the theme song for one of the Friday the 13th. I think it was part 6. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, you don't need much more than that for me to show you that this is just a really fantastic art book, and Gary is a really fantastic artist. So now I think I've shown you enough, if you're enough of a fan, to understand why you probably want to go pick up a copy of Ghoulish. And lucky news for you is that this review, us talking about this has been out for a year already. So it's not something we got early, not something you have to wait for. Please go check out April Snellings at roomorg.com. Again, we're going to put it right down there. Check out some of her writing. And if you want, I'm going to give you the websites for other places you should check out, which are all conveniently in the back of the book. 1984 Publishing is the awesome company that supplies us with these books. I want to give a mad shout out to our boy Matt. We were at New York Comic Con a couple weeks ago, and we saw Matt there. I've been dealing with Matt kind of over internet and over email purposes for these reviews, and it was really cool to meet him in person. So if you want to, go to 1984publishing.com. Yet again, Lou's going to put it right down there. 1984. Don't spell it out. And if you're interested in Ghoulish Gary, check him out at ghoulishgary.com. Obviously, you're probably interested in him if you're interested in this book. So I just wanted to say one more time, thank you to everybody at 1984 Publishing for letting us review this book, and I think you should definitely check it out. I dig it a lot, and I look forward to looking at this a little bit more when I get home tonight.